Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be going through Surya Namaskar B. So just starting in a comfortable seated position, just tuning into your breath, maybe deepening the inhale and the exhale. Then hands to heart center. Just going to do breath of joy. So on an inhale, bring the elbows up, interlacing the fingers. Exhale, push away, arch in the back, looking down. Inhale, bring the arms up in line with the ears. Exhale, release behind, interlace the fingers. Inhale, open the chest. And exhale, hands to heart. So I'm just going to do that again. So inhale, elbows up. Exhale, push away. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, release. Inhale, open the chest. And exhale, hands to prayer. And again, inhale. Exhale. Inhaling up. Exhale, release. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, hands to prayer. Now bringing the arms up, and on an exhale we're just going to lean over to the right, stretching out the side body. Left arm comes up and over. Slight bend in your right arm. And inhaling up, exhale over to the left side. You can look up to the ceiling if that's okay with your neck. If not, just look straight ahead or down at your left hand. And coming back to center, exhale it out. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, just going to do a little bit of a twist, so looking over the left side. Right hand on your left knee, left hand behind. Every inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale into center. Exhale over to the right side. Just using your hand there to try and twist a little bit deeper on the exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And back, arms to center. Exhale them down. And we're just going to come over onto all fours. Lining up. Shoulders over your wrist. Your hips over your knees. Stretching out the fingers and come into cat-cow. So breathing in, arching up. Breathing out, round the back, looking towards your belly button. Inhaling, coming through the shoulders, open the chest. Exhale, arching back up. Inhale, bringing it through. Exhaling, arch. So your aim here is to keep your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. So I'm just going to do a few circles. So if you're okay with this, then start circling the spine on the inhale and the exhale. If not, you can carry on doing some normal cat-cows. So on the exhale, you're arching up to one side, inhaling, rounding the back to the other side. And then switch sides. Just feel that movement in the spine. Feel how much your spine can actually move. It's not movement that we do every day. And we need it. And bring the arms slightly forward. Tuck the toes and come into downward facing dog. Keeping the knees bent. And we're going to lengthen one leg and then the other. Walking the dog, our first down dog of the day. Making sure you're pushing away the mat, pushing away the floor. Lengthening your spine, looking towards your knees. Keep your fingers stretched. You can bend both knees and then straighten it as much as you can. Don't worry if you can't straighten your legs, keep them bent. It's much better to have bent knees than to have a rounded spine. And then breathing in, we're going to bend the legs, look forward, step to the top of the mat. And then we're going to roll up into a standing position. Rolling up slowly and stacking the head, the pelvis and the feet. You're going to ground down through the four corners of your feet. So lifting your toes, spreading your toes, trying to place them down one at a time from the little toe all the way to the big toe. Lengthening through the spine, tucking the tailbone under, tummy in, and roll the shoulders back. Samasthiti, steady balance. Bending the knees, sweeping the arms up, come into a chair pose. So when you look down, you want to be able to see your big toes. If this is too much for your arms, bring them out to the sides, do cactus arms instead. If not, you can keep them in line with your ears, looking straight ahead. Try and tuck the pelvis down, stomach in. Nice and strong, grounding down through the feet. And on an exhale, bend forward. And bend the knees if you need to here, just stretching it out. So these are the moves we're going to do. I'm just doing them really slowly so you can get used to them first. And on an inhale, you're going to lengthen the spine, straighten the back. Hands on shins or thighs or floor, wherever you can reach. Bending down, we're just going to stand back into plank. So shoulders over wrists, and we're going to lower the knees, lower the chest, slide through into a cobra. So you can be in a normal cobra, a lower cobra, or a baby cobra. Whichever one feels comfortable for you. Then tucking the toes, I'm just going to push back into downward facing dog. Just breathing here. Core in nice and tight, and then we're going to lift the right leg, keeping the hips in. Make sure you don't open your hip out. And then looking forward, come onto the fingertips of your right hand, bringing your foot forward all the way to your hands. If you need to pull it there with your hands, then do so. Looking forward, just in this high lunge, and then coming up, arms up, bending into that front knee, making sure your hips are facing the front of your mat, your pelvis is tucked under, lengthening the spine, knee over ankle on the front foot, grounding down through the toes on your back foot. Make sure your chest isn't popping out, and placing the arms back to the floor, just lifting that leg back up and coming back into down dog. And the other side, left leg comes up, trying to keep the hips in, fingertips of the left hand, bringing it through. Stay on your fingertips for a second where you get your balance, and then come on up into a high lunge, arms above your head, in line with your ears, knee over ankle on the first foot, front foot, tummy pulled in. You can lower down a little bit more if that's comfortable for you. And if it's too much for your arms, you can do cactus arms or hands to the knee. And then coming back down into downward facing dog. So come forward into plank, lower the legs, lower the chest, through into a cobra, whichever cobra you'd prefer. Tucking the toes and back into downward facing dog. Just taking a few breaths here. Bending the knees to make sure your spine is straight, back is lengthening. Hugging in the inner thighs, hugging in the biceps. And bending the knees, we're just going to look to the top of our mat, jump or step forward. Breathing into flat back, lengthening the spine. Breathing out, forward fold. Breathing in, sweeping the arms all the way up. And hands to prayer. Just going to bend the knees, come back into chair pose. Again, have the arms however you'd like. Forward fold, breathing into flat back. Breathing out into our plank, lower the knees, lower the chest, come into cobra. Tucking the toes into downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg up this time. Coming forward onto that front foot into your high lunge. Arms coming up. Hands down. Leg goes back into downward facing dog. Right leg comes up. Comes to the top of the mat. Coming into that high lunge. Breathing out, plant the hands. Foot goes back into chaturanga or plank, lowering the knees, lowering the chest into cobra and back into downward facing dog. And just take a minute to rest here. So you can always jump back into chaturanga if that's okay for you. If not, just lower the knees, lower the chest and come into it that way. Bending the knees, jump to the front of your mat. Breathing in, flat back, breathing out, exhale, forward bend. Breathing in, back into chair pose, sweeping the arms. Breathing out, salutation. I'm just going to go through that again. So each movement is a breath. So breathing in to chair pose, breathing out, forward fold, breathing in, flat back, breathing out to plank, lower the knees, lower the chest, breathing into cobra, tucking the toes, breathing out to downward facing dog. Breathing in, right leg comes back, comes forward to the top of your mat, breathing in to high lunge, breathing out, plant the hands, back into downward facing dog. Breathing in, left leg comes up, comes to the front of your mat on an exhale. On an inhale, bringing the arms up into a high lunge. Exhale, release to the ground. Then come into plank, lower the knees, lower the chest, coming into cobra. On the inhale, tuck the toes, exhale into downward facing dog. Bend the knees, jump to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back into chair pose. Exhale to salutation at the top of your mat. Inhale to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, come back to plank. Lower the knees, lower the chest. Coming through into cobra. Tuck the toes into downward facing dog. Left leg comes up this time. Coming forward to the top of your mat. Inhale into a high lunge. Exhale, lower the hands into downward facing dog. Right leg comes up, stepping through to the top of your mat. Inhale to high lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, come back into plank, chaturanga or lower the knees, lower the chest into cobra. Tucking the toes into downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking to the top of your mat, jump or step to the top. Inhale to flat back, exhale forward fold, inhale coming into chair, exhale salutation, steady balance, top of your mat. So if you need to go through that again, you can always do that again. Inhale, arms up, exhale, fold forward, inhale to flat back, exhale, come through into downward facing dog. Just going to lower the knees here, take a child's pose, knees open, feet together, releasing the arms, catching your breath here. So that flow does take a couple rounds to get used to the movements. So once you've done it a few times, it's a lot easier to follow. Hopefully that was easy enough to understand and to stay in sync with me. And when you come into down dog, you don't have to put your back foot up. It's something I like doing. So just catching your breath here. Come into your natural breath. And then coming back up onto all fours. Just going to put the left hand out a little bit further, right arm threads through, look under your right armpit. Sorry, I've said that wrong, I think. Right arm comes forward, left arm comes through, look under your right armpit. Little spinal twist in the back there. Hips over knees. Just relax into this pose. Every exhale, feel your muscles relax. And coming back up, left hand goes out in front, right arm threads under, looking under your left armpit. Again, every exhale, just relax into this pose. Feel your muscles relaxing. And coming back up. Just going to go back on, sit on our knees, hands behind, just lift your pelvis up a little bit, looking back. And then bringing the legs out in front. You're just going to tuck in the left foot to the right thigh, hands up, looking over the right leg, and breathing out, forward bend over your right leg. Making sure you're lengthening the spine. So if you can touch your toes, do so. If not, touch your shin, your knee, your thigh, wherever you can reach, as long as you're keeping that length in your spine. If you need to bend the knee, you can bend the knee slightly as well. And exhale, release. We're just going to come onto the other side. Right foot comes to the left thigh. Breathing in, arms up. Just straighten out over that left leg. Trying to keep the length in your spine. Touching your toes, your shins, your thighs. Wherever feels more comfortable for you. All you want to be doing is feeling a stretch in the underside of your leg. And both legs out in front this time. So breathing in, arms up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Again, keeping the length in your spine. Hands to toes, shins or thighs. If you need to bend the knees, bend the knees. Wherever feels comfortable for you. Everybody's going to be at a different stage. And we're just going to shuffle down the mat a minute. Just roll onto your back. So just rocking your knees side to side. Rolling in circles one way and then the other. And then we're going to come into happy baby. So just grabbing the outside of your feet. Just pulling down, pulling your knees into your armpits, but keeping the lower back on the floor. You can rock side to side here if that feels comfortable for you. And then releasing the feet. Just going to keep the right knee hugging in and twist it over to the left while looking over the right. Just another spinal stretch here, spinal twist. If this feels too much, you can always bend both knees and put both knees over to the left side. And then switching over to the left knee, and twist it over to the right, looking towards the left. If you need to shuffle over like I am, you can do so. It's going to go into the wall. Looking over to the left. Again, every exhale, just feel your muscles relaxing into this pose. Feeling your breath slow down. And then coming back up to centre. Just rock the knees a few more times if you need to. Rocking side to side, and then when you're ready, lower the feet to the floor. Coming into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Feet flop open to the side, hands come to the side body, palms facing up, eyes closed, and we're just going to relax in this pose. feeling all the muscles relax. Just going through your body, do a body scan. Your toes, your ankles, your legs, your hips, making sure it's all relaxing. Your core, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your fingers, your neck, your jaw. Soften the eyes and the forehead. If you need to do another scan, please do so. If not, just relax into this pose. Shavasana. When you're ready, just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, stretch overhead, bring the knees up, roll to the side. Just take a moment to breathe here, wakening up the body. Keeping the eyes closed, just push yourself up into a seated position. Well, thank you all for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed. Namaste.